Hey guys, it's Dr. Moore back again to go over the schedule for fall. And indeed, our class will be 12:15 to 3:30 on Fridays in N119. So, this initial stuff is what I can't not do face-to-face this week. We're doing that via the YouTube videos tonight, and I will be making voiceover PowerPoints to go over the first 3 chapters. I actually can do a pretty good job with that because I can take the time to explain things and don't feel as rushed as I do in class, but nevertheless, you have to listen to my voice even more when we do those. So our first day together in person will be on Friday, September 8th, and we'll go over hopefully 4 chapters that day. I said that I wouldn't be going in the order of the book entirely. In these first couple of weeks, I will be. You'll see how I jump around a little bit outside of the book order throughout the schedule, and that is to try to stay in line with your Adult Health 1 schedule and content, just to try to make it as clear as possible for you guys and augment each course and have them be complementary and not duplicative where we can avoid it. So I also have tried to highlight for you, like right there, that you may not have to read an entire chapter, and if you don't, I tried to tell you exactly what to read and not read. If you have any questions about this whatsoever, ask me in class or send me an email. And the reason for that is, again, because I know you will be learning about that in another course or already have, and I don't want to totally repeat something you've already had enough times. Although I do want you we do want to review, and if ever you don't understand something, please holler in class. And here again is an example for the nutrition chapter where I told you, you could stop reading at promoting healthy aging and pick up again at the bottom of 179. So I've tried to do that to cut down on the amount of reading, although to be honest with you, it's still a lot. Our first exam will be on September 22nd on Friday. We'll have the exam in the beginning of the course session, and then we'll do 3 quick chapters after everybody finishes the exam and takes a break. We will be using ExamSoft in the computer lab, as you know, and there will be 65 questions for each exam, and I will be allowing 90 minutes for that. No math questions, mostly multiple choice, overall mostly multiple choice, and then a few true false. And some of the exams have quite a few select all that apply, because that is really testing your mastery of the material, and there are lots of those on the NCLEX exam. Those are hard, and you need a lot of practice with those. While I'm thinking of it, the Gero book, Elsevier Gero book and Gero course does not have adaptive quizzing with it yet. Hopefully they're telling me, and it will be too late for you guys, but the Elsevier folks are telling me that in the spring semester there'll be adaptive quizzing within my Elsevier electronic textbook materials. So I'm really hoping for that, because I know adaptive quizzing is very helpful. On September 29th will be our first 2 group presentations. I've been thoroughly going over these case studies recently, and I'm realizing that they're probably going to take between 20 and 30 minutes each presentation. I had thought 15 to 20, but I think by the time you explain what your case study is and then go through answering the questions that are in your case study and explaining the things to the rest of the class, you're probably going to be closer to 30 minutes. And that's okay because it's really, really good information. I will never do group presentations on the same day as an exam. And if I have made a mistake in the schedule and have done anything like that, please call that to my attention. Most of the time we'll be able to stay on schedule with the chapters. We may run ahead sometimes and run behind sometimes, and if that's the case, I would adjust the day accordingly, but I will never not have you get content that you need before you have an exam. In other words, we'll always cover the chapters that are going to be on your exam within the course periods, okay? So don't worry about that. October 13th will be the second exam, again in the lab. October 20th, we'll have 2 more groups present. Continue on with our lectures on October 27th, 2 more groups, and we'll be presenting on a Friday, and then you just have a little summary paper to write up. You may have it done that day and be able to upload it into the Dropbox. If not, it will be due on Monday, the following Monday at 11:59 p.m. So there'll be plenty of time to do it. 3 pages is plenty, and we'll go over the rubric as to what to put in that paper. The presentations are up to you on how to do them. In the past, with other types of group presentations, people have done activities, they've done role playing, a lot of people do PowerPoints and then explain, what is going on throughout the PowerPoint slides. People have dressed up. I mean, it's just all kinds of things. But it's one assignment, okay? It's worth 50 points. People typically do well on these kind of things, but I don't want you to overly stress about it either. November 3rd, I've got just one presentation scheduled that day, and then we'll do more chapters, and then we'll have an exam on November 10th. That'll be exam number 3. And then the final group will go on November 17th. So the way we're going to determine who's in what group is when we get together on September 8th, we're going to count around the room, up to 4, I think. And if everybody that I think is going to be in the class is in the class, there'll be mostly groups of 4 and 2 or 3 groups of 5. We will go over every chapter in the book, and if someone has touched upon some major concepts in a presentation, I will not pound it to death in another lecture, but kind of remind you, hey, that was good information that they went over in group such and such. Course evals, we'll talk about that later. You do have a nice little Thanksgiving break, and unfortunately right after Thanksgiving break you'll have exam number 4, but it's actually not too bad of an exam. It's more this kind of material here: relationships, death, transcendence, spirituality, things like that. More kind of psychological type of stuff and less physiological. After that last exam, we'll watch a documentary that's profound and a little bit sad, but also realistic. For anyone that is going to be taking the final exam, I'll try to give as much of a little review, a little heads up on the final as I can. The final will be on all material in the course. Many of you will at that point be able to opt out of the final. The way you can opt out of the final is to have been present and taken all other exams and have a course average of 80 or above. I'm told that last semester for this policy, there were very few people that needed to sit for the final exam. But if you do, you do. And, it's always good practice to take an exam like that. It is comprehensive and cumulative. Your grade will be counted even if it were to lower your final course grade. So that's why a lot of people are like, they don't want to press their luck. If they have above an 80, they want to keep that and they opt out of the final exam. You will need to make that decision on our last day of class, which is December 8th. I just want to highlight that I hope you can make all the exams, but I realize life happens. It has happened to me, and sometimes you miss things. You are allowed to miss one exam. You're not allowed to miss more than one exam. If you do miss one exam, you do have to take the final, because we need that many points to figure out your final grade. Your grade you get on the final will not replace your missed exam. It's just that your missed exam will not be counted as a 0. It will just be, it'll be a missed exam, and your overall number of points will be lower than 375 max. It'll be 375 minus 65 points, since each exam is worth 65 points, including the final. I hope that's clear. I put a copy of the final exam policy in the news section. Again, and we can review that as much as we need to. This should be the same in every course. Probably we all try to explain it a little bit differently, but it means the same, and we will all be adhering to the same policy. In the next video, I'm going to go over the assignment, the group assignment, and every group will have a different one. And I think they're all very interesting.